Chapter 89. Communing with the Lord in their hearts. The three of them now come over to me, and the centurion asks me, "Lord, what is the next venture? It seems to me you are about to do something." Say I, "Do you not notice the glorious dawn? Let you all pay attention now, for you shall behold the most beautiful sunrise. It is just the rise of the natural sun, for sure, but it nevertheless has the deepest spiritual significance, which shall become clear to you. For here one sunrise encounters another." Says Peter, "Lord, how are we to interpret this?" Say I, "Oh, how long shall I have to suffer you thus? We have now been together for quite some time, yet you don't notice that through myself a sun from the heavens has risen for your souls, and continues to do so day after day." Says Peter, "Lord, don't let it vex you, as you know we are simple folks, whose accomplishments don't go much beyond the minimum reading and a little writing. Had we understood it, then a question would have been capricious, but we did not understand your saying, and hence asked you." Say I, "Quite so, if one does not know that one can also quietly discuss things with me in the heart. If one knows that, however, then not the question itself, but the method is at fault, and only this I intended to rebuke. Look at the two Essenes and Pharisees over there, how they are widening their eyes about you, that you could have asked me something audibly, while, as their masters, you should know that I am quite capable to give every questioner the fullest answer quietly in his heart. With yourselves, it is certainly not ignorance or obstinacy, but only age-old habit. But take heed in future nevertheless. Get a grip on yourselves, so that people may discern that you are of a truth my disciples, and not lose your integrity before the world, of which above all you are in need for your new calling. But go over to your disciples now and instruct them. Otherwise they will start asking you about what you asked me." Says Peter, "Lord, we hence are not to speak audible words with you again?" Say I, "Oh, indeed, but everything in its proper time, and when I indicate it. But go now and do as I instructed you." Thereupon the disciples go over to the two Essenes and several Pharisees, saying to them, "Let it not surprise you that we too sometimes still ask the Lord about this or that audibly, for we too are still human, occasionally clinging unto old habits." And the two Essenes say, "We actually thought so, because we asked the Lord the same in our hearts, and the most vivid answer was placed in our hearts. It hence seemed somewhat peculiar to us that you inquired audibly, but as said, we gathered that something like that can still occur frequently out of sheer old habit. But we were at ease, since we have this night seen such amazing dream visions as we cannot recall ever before. And what is most peculiar about it is that each one of us dreamt the same, to a hair's breadth. And everything we saw in this rare dream is now becoming true in broad daylight. Nay, such has not been here before. Now we too believe that this Nazarene is more than just a most perfect human. He is indeed physically like one of us, but in his inner parts and heart dwells the fullness of divine strength and power that is obeyed throughout infinity. But now let us direct our attention to the sunrise, as commanded by him, in order to behold wonders. Says Peter, whether a wonder is going to be seen precisely is hard to tell. But the way the red-rimmed little clouds on the distant horizon proclaim it, we shall experience upon this height the most beautiful play of God's creation, and therefrom obtain instruction on how a similar sunrise has come to our soul, lasting forever. Says one of the Essenes, indeed, a sunrise not only for us, but the entire earth, and even the entire infinity. Because it seems to us that this incarnation of the highest God Spirit is meant not only for this earth and its beings, but for all of infinity. It is, of course, somewhat unfathomable for our spirit as to why the Divine Spirit has chosen this earth in particular, since he has, as we now know it, countless myriads of splendidly huge light worlds where he could have undertaken his incarnation. But he will know best why he chose this earth in particular. When we previously still thought that this earth was the only world in the entire universe, the thing would have been quite easy to grasp, for then there would have by the nature of things been nothing other. This earth, according to our concepts, was the only endlessly great world, whose waters reached to the firmament, and we believed that the sun, moon, and stars were the only ones to light up this world with their light. But now suddenly, everything has assumed a different aspect. We now know what all the stars, moon, and sun are, and know how small our earth is in comparison to a solar earth. Now it could of course be asked and said, how did this grain of sand called earth come by such grace? Of a truth, this question shall once be a portentous one yet, and intensely offensive to many. Hence it would, in our opinion, not be entirely superficial to receive proper clarification on this point. What do you think? Can we ask him? Says Peter, try it in your heart. If an answer comes, then well and good. But if not, then it means that we are not yet sufficiently mature for such instruction. But now look, the sun is about to rise, for the tiny morning clouds shine almost too brightly for beholding. Says the Essene, of a truth, this is an indescribably glorious sight. But don't you notice something moving above those clouds? It seems like brilliant stars moving around. What could this be? Says Peter, what it is, only the Lord shall know, but we fishermen call such not too rare phenomenon little morning fish. When these appear, then it is good to fish in the water, and towards evening there is certain to be inclement weather, or at best a strong wind. Although I must admit to not having seen fish of such freshness and liveliness, this manifestation is not unfamiliar to me, although it is probably easier to make out from this height than from the depth below. Says the Essene, you know what? Let's move nearer to the Lord. I notice him speaking with Ebal and his children. Much shall be revealed there again. We must hear it.